Oh, good morning. Well, it appears that I didn't do my opening intro, so you get to see me instantly. So I hope you are doing well on a Saturday morning. I got to tell you, my voice is a little done because one, I didn't sleep well last night, and wow, everybody in this house is just absolutely knocked out. Everybody is just asleep. So, oh my gosh. So I hope you are having an amazing start to your Saturday morning. Today is behind the scenes Saturday. Maybe we can get a couple of folks to join us. Hey, Aisha, how are you doing? I'm going to go ahead and pull this up over here so I can get all myself situated. So what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be working on in 2019. So on the Saturdays, I just tell you what I'm working on, the ups, downs, challenges, just to kind of let you know that hey, I'm doing this just like you as well. So for those of you who are tuning in, listening to the podcast, I am Phylecia Jones, budgetologist and solopreneur money management expert, and you are watching Ask the Budgetologist. And every morning I come to you live. I usually say around 7:45 a.m. Mountain Time-ish, but I've been pushing that ish for a while. I like that because I've been very tired. But I usually come on every morning and I answer any questions you have around business budgeting and solo entrepreneurship. And of course, I give you tons of unsolicited financial advice. You didn't ask for it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, because that's just kind of how I roll. So I'm really excited about all of that. I think I can close this now. Um, so what we're going to talk about today, and on Saturdays, what I do is I just go behind the scenes, tell you some of the ups, downs, and challenges that I'm going through, because all during the week we talk about money, we talk about making money, and then we get into this thing of, well, everybody's just perfect, and I'm just letting you know I'm not overly perfect. I mean, I try to be. I don't know. Are you perfect? Hey, Rolando, how you doing? Hey, Aisha, how you doing this morning? All right. So here's what I'm working on, other than trying to be perfect, because perfect does not exist if you haven't figured that out by now. So it is 2019. It is the beginning of a brand new year, and I actually made goals this year. 2018, I actually did make goals. It was all about fun for me. It was all about fun, enjoying the journey. And this year's the year of the do. We introduced the year of the do this week, and it's all about doing stuff and stepping into where you're supposed to be in life, in your business, or wherever you are. Because a lot of us, we try to play very small and we never get out there. Hey, Shelly, how are you doing? Shelly was just on the news or I saw a video. So hope you're doing great. She's in my STEM world. So, so I really want to encourage you to go out there, do what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm going to just kind of tell you what I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm going to do it. So here's what we're going to work on. What I'm working on for this year is confidence, putting on blinders, and morphing into a motivational speaker. I know that's going to be fun for me because I tried to avoid becoming a motivational speaker because I just I don't think I motivate anyone, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Why not? I got nothing to lose. What is hey? What do the kids say these days? YOLO, you only live once. Live your best life. I love kids and all their sayings. All right, so here's what I'm working on as far as confidence. And one of the things that I've had to realize is that if I want to do more, go bigger, make mountains move, that means I'm going to have the confidence to do it. And I was sitting here working on my brand new website. So you see it over here. It's PhyleciaJones.com. This is my speaker website. And I was trying to figure out, like, what is it that I want to say? What is the emotion or the feeling that I want to try to give on this website? And it came down to some very cliche words, but I like them. And it really does kind of sum up how I'm feeling about everything is believe, achieve, succeed. And what I've had to learn over the last few years, I'm actually going to be in my 5th year this year in business, is that if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in what you're doing, you're not going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. You're not going to be able to succeed. And I know it sounds, part of me is like, this is very corny, but it's so true. Like, it all comes down to you believing in yourself. And I will say for some years, I really didn't believe. I really didn't believe in what I was doing. I didn't believe in myself because I could say that I wanted to go do things. I could say it, but it's like, it didn't go from the head down here yet. It was just like, yeah, maybe out the mouth and just say it. But what I realized is that even more this year, of the bigger moves that I'm going to make, not will be, but going to make, I got to step up and believe in it. And this year, for whatever reason, I actually believe everything. And maybe it was the journey to actually get here, but you got to believe in what you're doing. And that's the biggest thing that I'm stepping into is, I don't know if you can increase confidence. I guess you can. I don't know if it sounds like a penny jar, like I'm just going to increase it because I can. But the reality is, for this next level, I'm going to have to play at a higher level of belief, higher level of confidence. And if you haven't checked this out, this is Mel Robbins. Her book is The 5-Second Rule. And you can go to keepupwithmrsjones.com/resource. And the book is there. If you haven't listened to it, if you haven't read it, it's actually a good one. But she has a quote in her book that says, for every level, you have to become a different person. For every level of your life, I'm paraphrasing now, but for every level of your life, for every phase of your life, that's what it was, you're gonna have to become a different person. And this year is really the culmination of becoming that different person. I think I'm not one of those people who launched a business and, oh my gosh, I was like $500,000 in the first year. No, I wasn't like that. I have trudged along. And I honestly think that I had to trudge along to be prepared for the bigger journey. And I know it sounds really weird, but sometimes, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how woo you are, but sometimes the universe, the God, the angels, they slow you down on purpose because they may know that you're not really ready for what you are meant to be doing. So that's the biggest thing I'm working on is stepping into this bigger self, bigger shoes, bigger whatever. I'm actually going to open this up because I'm not seeing any comments. So if you got any questions about anything, go ahead and put that in the comment box. And if I can motivate you to go do something, that'd be great. The next thing I am working on, which is putting on blinders. I did a show about, I think it was right before Christmas, so maybe about a week and a half ago. And I said the number one guaranteed way for you to make money in 2019 was to get off social media. And I got so much response back from that one. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of the things that we want to do, we let other people influence us when they have no need to influence us. They have no reason to tell us anything. They have no opinion because they're not part of anything. And that's what I have been doing this over the last year, especially because I had to put on the blinders, but I think the blinders were still kind of like, well, we put them in place, but now we got to, I know, I'm like my husband. He does all these weird little sounds and things to describe stuff, but he's rubbed off on me, I guess. But I am putting on like blinders like crazy. And social media is one of them. I think we've become addicted to being addicted to the likes. We've addicted to the validation. And in the same sentence, we're addicted to comparing. And when we start comparing ourselves, we don't move where we're supposed to go. We don't do the things we're supposed to do. So this year is a really big one for me to like put on the blinders. Like last year was like the prep work. I started releasing myself from all these obligations that weren't doing much for me. They were fun, but they were actually holding me back from what I needed to do. So I have even more obligations that I'm releasing this year. But last year was like, whoo, cleanse the earth. Thank you. I have my freedom. But this is all about putting on the blinders right now and really focusing. And that's the one thing I want you to realize is that you're going to have to focus. It doesn't matter whatever it is that you want to do. You're going to have to make the decision to actually do it. And that's why the confidence and the belief works into it, because if you don't believe it, you're going to keep falling down this trap of comparing yourself, wondering what other people are doing, trying to get listening to people that you shouldn't be listening to. So that's one of the things I've become an expert at not listening to anybody that I only choose to listen to. And that's going to be even more because there's something I really want to do this year that's going to require me and see, these are things for me. These aren't just good ideas. I know sometimes we hear these things and I've heard these same things for years. be confident, believe in yourself, focus on one thing. They were all good ideas. Now I realize they're not optional. They're not optional based on where I want to go, and they're not going to be optional for you based on where you want to go. So if this, whatever it is that you want to do, you have excluded all options. There are no options. You're going to have to believe in yourself. You're going to have to focus. You're going to have to put on those blinders. You're going to have to not pay attention to other people and go do what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Not want to do, but supposed to be doing. Because a lot of us, we know we're supposed to be doing some amazing things and we're just wasting our dear sweet little time. Am I right? I know I'm right. All right. The last thing I'm working on, and if you see me looking down, my computer is here. I'm trying something new for this year. I want to actually stand and not sit in my chair to deliver the show. But so it's fun so far. But I got to get my little rhythm because I have to set up everything. Now, the last thing that I'm working on is, and this has taken me a while to actually say this out loud. And I think the first time I said it out loud was last year, in July, I think. But that was to become a professional speaker. And now I'm solidifying that by morphing and saying out loud that I'm going to be a motivational speaker in 2019. So I've been working on all this stuff in the background, and I've had people who've been pushing and prodding me for a while, but I've been like, oh, no. No, that's not really, I'm not a motivational speaker. That's not what I do, but I'm just going to own it. I'm seriously just going to own it. It's so funny. Now that I stand, you get to see me do my little old lady stances and things like that. I love it. But I'm actually just going to own it. And this is such a big leap for me. You talk about somebody being out of their comfort zone. Like I told you, that TEDx talk threw me so far out of my comfort zone to the point, when people ask, are you going to do another TEDx? Like, no. That was so far out of my comfort zone. Maybe give me about a year to get comfortable with that level. But I think with the motivational speaking, I am signing myself up to go to that level, to play in that role. But this is something that I think I was meant to do. And I don't really know how to put words around it, but it feels like the whole journey, everything that I've gone through with launching this business, everything has guided me to this point in time now. And because last year it was still, and I told my husband this, and this is how weird last year was for me. And this is why I didn't create any goals, because it was like, I told my husband, I see that I'm supposed to be going down this road. I see it and I'm walking down it, but I don't know where it's going. And I feel like the year before were like some forks in the road. You got to make some decisions. And last year was like, okay, I don't know where this path is taking me, but I'm all in and I'm just going to go. And it was very murky. So I always call it like the fog, the mush cloud. And there was like this just mist. And I was like just walking. I know I'm sounding really wooey and really odd right now, but that's really how last year was for me. Was, all right, I'm going down this path. I know I'm supposed to be down this path. I know I'm supposed to be here, but I have no clue where it's leading me. And it seems that toward the end of the year, it started to like clear up. I'm like, oh, wow, like this is what you wanted me to do? Woo. Okay, like, can we go backwards? Can we go backwards and like start this over again? And you can't. And I've told this story before. This is probably the best metaphor I have for maybe life and business and things like that. So when I was 23 years old, I started dating this guy, and he liked to hike. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? He liked to go hiking. And, I've never really been hiking. You do walking trails, but not like serious hiking. It was in the redwoods in outside of San Jose, California, and it was 11-mile hike. So my brain was like, all right, 11 miles, that's not too bad. I can handle, it's 11, like I can count. It's 10 fingers plus 1. That's 11. It doesn't take that much to get there. I can do this. And to be honest, I have no sense of how long a mile is. I just don't, that's not my thing. So we're walking or hiking, and this is the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. And it was just brutal. I mean, I'd never been hiking before. My feet were hurting, my back were hurting, my knees were hurting, my butt was hurting, my legs were hurting. And then we got to the halfway point and we had lunch. And it was a beautiful halfway point. It was a waterfall, kind of took a break. And all I could think about was, I want to get back to the car. This is what happens when you're dating people and try to impress them. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. All I was thinking was I wanted to get back to the car. And I remember I was just sitting there, and the only thought process was, all right, we're literally at the 6.2 mile mark. I think it was like 6.5. It was like halfway. I was like, we can do the same amount of work and go backwards, or I can just keep going forward and just see how this works out. Because you're like stuck, and it's like you can't really go backwards because one, you're with somebody else and you don't want to be a loser. And then the other thing is like, well, it's the same amount of work to go backwards. It's not going to get any better. My legs, you don't reverse when you hike like that. You don't reverse and things get better. It doesn't get better. It just kind of just get progressively worse. So I just kept going. And of course it got worse, and everything in my body was so sore. I couldn't even laugh. That's how sore I was, because I was not in that kind of shape. But that's kind of how I look at a lot of these things that I've done over the last few years, is that I have done all of this work to get to this halfway point, and I literally can go backwards. And trust me, there are days I wake up like, I'm just going to get a job. I'm just going to get a job, because that's going to be so much easier than what I'm doing. But I also realized that in order for me to get a job, I got to go backwards. Now I got to take the next 30 days to figure out what's on my resume, to start reaching out to people, to start contacting people, to try to negotiate. It's the same amount of work as if I were to just go forward. So that's kind of how I've been looking at everything. Just keep moving forward. My dog is awake now. And so that's where I am this year. It's like, I'm just going to keep moving forward, because what I told myself was at the end of 2018 was I was going to make a decision of where I was going to go with this business. And like, I was really up for it. Like, all right, if this doesn't go where I think it's supposed to go, we're going to backtrack and get a job, or we're going to keep moving forward. But I left myself very open to deciding, and the path cleared up. So I guess I know I'm going. So motivational speaker it is. So this is going to be, and this is why I have to put on the blinders, because I'm stepping into a completely different world that is so different for me, and different type of energy, same amount of work, but a different type of energy going into it. So I'm getting good mornings from Rebecca and Rolando. Hey, how are y'all? If y'all have any questions about anything, this is Behind the Scenes Saturday. So for those of you who join in, this is really me just rambling about all the things, the ups, downs, the challenges, what I'm working on, in the hopes of encouraging you to get out there to do what you're supposed to do, and to kind of like let you know that this is the look of entrepreneurship. Somebody told me, I did a speaking gig in September, and I think somebody went and watched one of my shows, and they said, are you afraid that people won't work with you because you wear t-shirts in your videos? And I was like, no, never bothered me that I'm wearing a t-shirt. There's a lot of double standards in this stuff, because a lot of the guys that I know, they don't even wear clean t-shirts when they do these things and still make a lot of money. But whatever, different side note. And I was like, no, because the purpose of my live streams aren't to show that I'm perfect. That's not the purpose. My purpose of the live streams is to talk to you and to let you know that, hey, I know exactly what you're going through. I have been there. This is what entrepreneurship looks like when I'm doing work. It's a t-shirt, no makeup, and little small earrings and hair pulled back. Because that's what it's going to take. All of the makeup and all of the filters, they don't get you there. And I try to tell people this all the time. What you see, this is why you got to put those blinders on. This is why you have to put those blinders on, because what you see is not the reality of everything. And you're trying to compare yourself to people with perfect filters, perfect outfits, and trying to be like them, when the reality is you're trying to be like their image. And I got to tell you, I've been a professional cheerleader. I pretended to be a little model. I've done all these things. And you can slap on some makeup and make people look beautiful. Filters make people look beautiful. The right words, the right script make people look beautiful. and you shouldn't compare yourself to that. Rolando saying he's proud of me. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. I'll give you one last story to talk about the perfect thing. So I got to tell you, one of my favorite movies is The Mummy. Not the new Mummy with Tom Cruise. It's the Brendan Fraser one. I only like the first two. And, I always thought that Brendan Fraser was a good looking man. To me, he represented a good looking, almost perfect man. And it didn't have anything the way he looked. He looked good. He was tall. He would fight. He would kiss you in the middle of fighting mummies. He wanted to have a family. He had money, but he also was from the streets. He knew how to scrap. I mean, he was like almost that perfect guy that women want. I mean, like everything about him. Like, yeah, I want my man to fight, but not for real though. But I also want him to hug me in between, and I don't want him to get any marks on him, and to stay perfect, and to wear a nice pair of pants. Yeah, he represented that. And I remember we were watching the show, or watching the movie, and this was when I was dating my husband. And I was like, I get it. I was like, he's the perfect man. I was like, in this movie, he is the perfect man. Everything about him represents the perfect man, and that's what women want. And my husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, he was like, and that's why you women are silly. He was like, it took 25 writers to create that, and he doesn't exist. And I was like, wow, you're such a mood killer. But he's right. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. But he's right. I don't know how many writers. I got to go look at the thing. But it did take 25 writers to create that perfect man. And it's an image that a lot of us try to compare ourselves to. And I mean, you look at him now. I mean, perfect body. I mean, gosh, it's hard to keep that type of body. The guy who they're kind of billing as almost the perfect, he's like the next perfect man is, because he's beautiful. Michael B. Jordan. He's pretty, he's tough, he's down to earth, he loves his mama, his body, he has back muscles. How do you do that? But I also realized that I like to go watch his workout plan and realize that it ain't perfect to get to that. It takes writers to write those scripts for him. He has trainers and he works out every day to look like that, and realizing that we cannot compare ourselves to these images because it takes a lot of money and a lot of people to make that work. So no, I'm not afraid if I show up on a t-shirt here, because in order to make big moves, you can't be perfect all the time. And to be honest, you aren't never going to be perfect. You're just going to be you. So I know I went on a tangent. I'm sorry. Like I said, Saturdays are just me. It's just me rambling and not being perfect. All right, folks. So here's what I have. The carpet cleaners are coming, so I actually got to go do some work. So those are the things I'm working on for 2019. Believing even more in myself. I believe in you as well. But believing more in myself, putting on those blinders, please, if you don't take anything from me, you got to put on those blinders. And one of the best shows that I ever heard was Making Oprah. If you go find that podcast, and I think it was maybe like episode 5 when she was doing the interview with the host, she said, I put on blinders and didn't pay attention to anybody. She didn't hear criticism. She didn't even hear the positive things. She had these blinders on and just focused. And that's what you're going to have to do. And like I said, if you want to make this work, you better get off social media, especially if you get caught up in comparing yourself. So put on those blinders. That's what I'm doing this year. And then, of course, I'm morphing into a motivational speaker. So if you stick with me for the year, you'll see this worm. No, it's not worms. What are they, caterpillars? Now I'm probably just a worm. You'll see this little caterpillar. Maybe by the end of the year, I'll be a butterfly. Ooh, or maybe I'll just be a little thing in a cocoon. I don't know. We'll see what the end of the year brings. But that's what I'm working on this year. Let me know what you're working on. And please go check out my website. We've been working on it. It's still not, there's still a little bit of work to be done on it. But this is just my website, not my Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. Keep Up with Mrs. Jones is where you and I are going to hang out. But PhyleiciaJones.com, that's where we're going to get people to give me a lot of money. That's the speaker website. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. There's still a few little holes that we got to clean up over there, but so far it looks pretty good. So far. All right, folks. Go and enjoy your Saturday. Hopefully the sun is out where you are. The sun is out here. Now, it's so funny. I was in Alabama. It was cold the whole time. I'm here in Colorado. There's snow on the ground, but it's like really warm. I can't make this stuff up. And I think my camera's about to poop out on me. So have an amazing day. Take care. Happy budgeting. We're going to get back to normal and talking about your money starting tomorrow. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow. I appreciate you for hanging out with me and just for tuning in. You have no idea. So take care. Happy budgeting. Have a great weekend. Bye.